And when the kingdom is established, all nations are going to flow to us to learn of the Lord's ways because of the magnificence that's going to be established. You know, that great honor that the Lord is going to bestow upon us once again. Our rightful position as the rightful rulers of the universe.
The word that Isaiah had celebrated as a song concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established at the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke them, and they shall bring their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
So what we're doing is we're heralding, announcing the coming of the next world, the coming of righteousness, the establishment of a righteous kingdom and the proper people that belong in it.
But thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, from all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not send his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than the people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt.
And when the kingdom is established, all nations are going to flow to us to learn of the Lord's ways because of the magnificence that's going to be established. You know, that great honor that the Lord is going to bestow upon us once again. Our rightful position as the rightful rulers of the universe.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, and hope for Lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful Lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. And what I want to get into today, you know, just pretty much understanding, you know, the beast. All right, we hear that, term being thrown around a lot, according to prophecy. And it's important that we, understand what is the beast, all right, what is his image, and also the image is going to lead to what? Worshiping the image of the beast is going to lead to what? The MOTB, because as these things are upon us, all right, these heavy prophecies are upon us, we have to understand these things plainly, man. All right. So I gotta let me get this precept first, and I got a video, quick video. Pretty much is going to the Roman Empire, and then we're gonna go into the scriptures and prophecy, man. How they relate to today. Now, let's get so let's get the book of Ecclesiastes, because one thing about, the scriptures, it deals heavily, with reincarnation. Now, when you go to the book of Ecclesiastes 1:9, it said, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Yeah. So there is no new thing under the sun which is on earth, even dealing with empires, because the same spirits, all right, it said the thing that have been, is speaking of spirits, it shall be, which means those spirits come back. And that which is done, it shall, it said, and that which is done is that which shall be done. All right. So these same spirits of these different empires come back and they do the same thing. They have the same energy, you know, they pretty much imitate what was done in the previous empire. All right. And that's what we see today of the NATO, America, and EU. All right. Pretty much with America being the centerpiece, pretty much being Rome itself, because Rome was just a city in Italy. All right. And then the Roman Empire was different provinces, all right, that was conquered, all right, by, all right, the city of Rome. You know, you had Northern Africa, which is gonna go into our apology, but you had, you know, different regions. But Rome was just a city, and America is the embodiment of the city of Rome today. There's no new thing under the sun. You know, we're gonna go into it. So let's go from there. Let me get this. Oh yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do, all right, is
Live streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software to make your streams look really professional can be a real chore.
all right. So I don't know if you brothers, you know, familiar with the series of Barbarians Rising. It's called Barbarians Rising, and what it goes into is these different, you know, what Rome, because Rome, if you was not under the Roman providence, you know, if you didn't subscribe to the Roman way, they called you a barbarian. You know, much like during the Renaissance, if you wasn't of, you know, that Christianity, all right, that Roman Catholicism, they considered you a savage. You know, that was a term that they put on a lot of the Northern Kingdom tribes when they came over here as savages. You know, but back then they were just calling those tribes, those different ethnic groups that was surrounding the Roman Empire. They would call them barbarians. You know, they had like a conservative spirit. You know, there was more into agriculture, because you go into Rome, like Rome is pretty much where you get this this spirit of this city life. You know, partying, a surplus of money. You know, having status, and you know, pretty much, because in the city you're pretty much living off the labors of everyone else. You know, like the food you eat comes from the labor of someone else. You know, the housing. See, everything you do pretty much comes off the labor of someone else. Which you have the barbarian tribe that would be more, you know, conservative, more orthodox. You know, where they would do their own farming. You know, they would build their own houses. You know, but Rome pretty much started that standard where, you know, you really didn't have to worry about nothing but just partying and bullshit. And that's where the energy that we see today, all right, within this beast system of today. Now, so this is dealing with Barbarian Rising. This is the beginning of the episode dealing with Spartacus, you know, because Spartacus was a series on Stars, I believe, but it was based on a true story, a true slave revolt, you know, that happened in Rome, you know. But just going to the introduction, dealing with this video, you know, it gives a pretty good synopsis, all right, of the beast, you know. So I'm gonna let it play, and then we're gonna get into prophecies, and Lord will, you know, you brothers and sisters are edified. Let's see if it'll play. So you see what Rome will be considered a barbarian. It says not belonging to the great civilizations of Greece and Rome. All right, so which means they didn't speak the Greek language, you know, and they didn't partake in the doctrine and the philosophies of Greece and Rome. It says foreign, strange, or ignorant. And see, they'll call you ignorant because what, you was ignorant to their ways. You see, and outsider. You see that?
Previously, on Barbarians Rising, the ancient world divides in two. Rome is ambitious, ruthless, built on blood and glory.
These are Rome's lands now.
The barbarians unite to challenge.
And what it say, Rome was built on blood and glory. You know, if a brother can put that in Nahum, brother put that in Nahum 3:1, and another brother post Habakkuk 2:12. You see, said Rome was built on blood, man. Showing it's the same people, man. Because when the Renaissance era came, hey, Esau built his empire in blood, man. Let's see. So when you get, I get it here. This is the book. This is the book of Nahum. All right, chapter 3, verse 1. It's from the brother Bayan Yashala. It's Nahum 3:1. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. You know, and we're the prey, you know, and we're from the sea. How the ancient Roman Empire got down too, man. They was big, they was big, you know, on mass enslavement, man. All right. This is the brother, your true living waters. All right, this is Habakkuk 2:12. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, establish a city by iniquity. And that's how the ancient, you know, Roman Empire was established. But the scriptures say they would do it like that. And Esau, Edom, all right, his blessing was to rule with the sword, to live by the sword, man, you know. So let's let it play.
Challenge its growing power.
Roman soil, we are finally ready to fight.
To fight for our freedom. Now, Rome spreads tyranny as it storms across the continent, plundering the people as the barbarians step up to fight.
The liberates still resisting. We must bring them to heel.
But the larger Rome grows, the more enemies it brings on the inside. The vast barbarian army waiting for a leader to rise. is now the supreme power in the ancient world.
All right, so I just want y'all to look at this map. You see, Rome is just a city. All right. But when you think of Rome, you automatically think of all of this, you know. But Rome is just a city. Rome itself, it's a centerpiece. All right. But what did they have control over? They had Greece. All right. They even will get Judea, you know, which is over here to the east. All right. You had Northern Africa. All right. Hispania. You had the Gauls. You got Germania. You know, which the Gauls will later become French. You know, so you have all this territory ruled out of Rome. You know, and it's just like, you know, America today. And America will be Rome, but see, all the territory that America pretty much has authority over, you know, is like the Roman Empire, man. You see, NATO and the EU, because within the NATO and EU, all this area is part of the EU. Modern day, this area here,
stretching across Italy to North Africa.
you know, all this area here is part of the EU today. You know, all this is EU. You know, all this European land, you know, and a little more with it. Well, all this is the EU of today. You know,
through Hispania and into Gaul.
The Roman fighting machine was incredibly disciplined and organized, and it moved with a rhythm and with a power that would break apart a less disciplined and well-trained force. These were professionals.
The people beyond the borders of the Republic, who Rome calls barbarians, become targets in a new phase of domination.
Rome wants a number of things from the territories it conquers. It wants wealth, it wants glory, and it wants human capital.
and what you see, pretty much, you think about today, he's pretty much labeled, you know, Jake and Ishmael, the barbarians of today. Like, you see how they demonized North Korea, Iran, you know, a few Ishmaelites, you know, Hezbollah. All right, that will be like the barbarians of the day. Those that don't subscribe to this Roman way, to this beast way, will be considered like your barbarians, you know, of today.
Slaves.
Rome builds its power by enslaving people from the lands it conquers, transporting them into the Roman provinces where they're sold to farm its fields and fight in its armies. An estimated 20% of the Roman population, as many as 1 million people, are barbarian slaves living on Roman soil.
Slavery is nothing new to the ancient world. What's different is the scale of Roman slavery. This is slavery on a massive scale.
The fiercest men among them are forced to fight for sport, competing in the arena as gladiators.
Now, what does this remind you of? You see, these gladiators were Jake, you know, Spartacus, these were Jakes. You see? But you see how Rome, you know, was known for transporting slaves, mass slavery, you know? It's the same energy, man. It's the same energy. The same people come back doing the same thing, man. All right? But these gladiators, this lets you know that this is a new Roman Empire, man, because you don't even have an NFL in another country. Like, you look at the NFL, that's mainly here. You have, you know, global basketball, but see that NFL, which is that true brutal, you know, that brutal, you know, sport. This is here in America. It's not, you know, this is the main hub of it. All right, these big, huge arenas that's in America. College football, you got college football stadiums. They can hold 110,000 people, man. 90-some thousand people, man. You know.
We think immediately about the Colosseum. We think about this huge arena
50 to 60,000 spectators egging on their favorite competitors, fighting to the death. But the reality in the Republic was very different. This scale was much more modest.
In the provincial amphitheatres, you're talking about local events that are dirty and sordid.
But that's pretty much the point. So now I just want to do just get into these prophecies dealing with this beast. Like I say, that whole series of Barbarian Rising is pretty good, you know, because you kind of get how, you know, Esau, Edom, his rulership, you know, it will always come to a point where the earth will reject his rulership, and you have these uprisings, you know, because this man was a very wicked ruler. All right, the Roman Empire, that was a very wicked rulership, you know, in the earth, man. All right, they would pretty much, you know, tax people to the point where they would barely survive, just so what the few, all right, the wealthy of Rome could live luxuries, man. All right, and the citizens of Rome could live luxuries, man, to a degree, just like today in America, man. Now, let's get Daniel, all right, dealing with this beast, man, because this is what's been revived in the earth, the ancient Roman Empire, the ancient way, you know, and this is the image that we see today. All right, this is Daniel 7:7. It says, and after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. You see, and it had great iron teeth going into his military, because it talks about how Rome had a very professional, disciplined military. You know, it says, and devour and break in pieces. Yeah, Rome destroyed empires, man, different kingdoms that stood before it, man. You know, just as America has done. And it says, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And see, it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. All right, because Rome ruled as a republic. You know, you had your Senate, you had your political parties, the patricians and the plebeians. You see, you had the Caesar, you had different appointed, you know, councils, you had voting. You know, it didn't go by it wasn't ruled by a monarchy, but the crown was passed down, you know, through lineage, as the other empires before it. You know, going to the Greek Empire, because even Alexander, he was a descendant of a king, Philip. You know, they passed down the throne through lineage. Well, see, when Rome came into power, they ruled as a republic. It was diverse, you know, which is the same thing we see today. Verse 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. See, this little horn is speaking of America, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And those 3 horns plucked up by the roots was Spain, all right, which when you go into ancient Rome, they plucked up Spain back then, all right. It was the French, which when you go to ancient Rome, they plucked up the Gauls, which was the land of France, you see. And then you had the British, and when you go into ancient Rome, I think Julius Caesar was the first one to go into, all right, and conquer Britain. You see? So they plucked up them 3 horns then, and they plucked it up in this time, man. The Spanish, you had the American Spanish War, you had the American Revolution with Britain, and then you had the French, all right, American War, you know, what they call the Quasi War, you know, which was fought mainly at sea. And America, all right, uprooted those 3 countries and became, you know, on its way to becoming a superpower within this new beast system. It says, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. So what we see out of this 4th beast, America would emerge to be that centerpiece, man. All right, to be that pretty much that the Roman centralized, all right, part of this beast system, you know. So when you go to Revelation, let's get Revelation 13. All right, this is Revelation 13 and 1. I'm gonna jump around, you know, because one thing about these prophecies, they'll jump back and forth within history. So I'm gonna try to keep it as chronological as I can, you know, jumping through this history. Now, when you go to the book of Revelation 13 and 1, it says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea." All right, and the sea represents the people. All right, empires arise, you know, out of the midst of people, having 7 heads and 10 horns. You see that? It's speaking of the same beast in Daniel the 7th chapter. And upon his horn 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Because, you know, back then Rome had vassal states, you know, that they were subjugated to Rome, but they had particular authority and rulership in the region that they was in under the Roman authority, you know. So they had 10 crowns, which they had, you know, rulership under the Roman Empire, just as you see today, you know. Those EU nations, these different EU nations, they have particular rulership in the regions that they are in, but it's under the umbrella of the Roman Empire of whole, which is the NATO, EU, and America. Remember, America is the whore that rides that beast system, man. All right. Now, when you jump down to verse 3, it says, "And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death." Now, one of these heads is Rome. All right, because you go into the 7 heads. I'll say you have, you know, you have the Greeks, you have France, you have Germania Major, Germania Minor. All right, you have the Spanish, and you have Rome. And Rome was the head that was wounded, you know, unto death. All right, and let's get there real quick. When you go to Revelation. All right, Revelation 20. In Revelation 21 says, "And I saw an angel, all right, come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." And the key and chain represents what pretty much Esau was put away out of rulership. He was locked out, all right, of having a rulership and influence in the earth. And the bottomless pit, he was pushed out, you know, into the outer skirts of Europe, mainly, you know, the Caucasus Mountains. You see? And it says, and ultimately the angels, Yahushua, you know, has the authority. Yahushua has the authority, all right, the keys of hell and death, all right? And hell is what? A condition in the earth. You see? So Yahushua has authority over that. It says, "And he laid hold on the dragon and that old serpent," all right, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And this is what they call the dark ages. You know, this is when the head was wounded, you know, because the Roman Empire was the peak of Esau's power. You know, that's when he was his strongest militarily and financially as the Romans. You know, so that was the peak of his power. That was you know, that was his head. He was wounded. The head was wounded during this time when they was pushed out. And it says, "And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him," which means he could not come back into power. He could not have any influence in the earth, man, no matter what he did for that time period. So that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And now we're in that little season. All right. Now we're in that little season that he's been loose. So you go to Malachi. Let's get Malachi chapter 1. You know, we in that little season, beginning with the Renaissance. All right. That he was loose. And then the deadly wound was healed. Now, this is Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains, which is his governments. And his government they were speaking of was this, all right, pagan Roman Empire. And his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom, let you know who was ruling the empire. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And that's what they did. When you look at these EU nations, that's them physically rebuilding their Roman Empire again. It's the same territories being built back up again. The same republic, government system being set up again. The same wicked, dominant military force built back up. It's the same thing built back up again, man. The gods, the paganism, all these things. Even when you go to New Year, when you celebrate New Year's, it goes back to the Roman goddess, all right, of good luck, pretty much, Janus. You see? You go to the month of July, it's named after Julius Caesar. August, Augustus Caesar. You see, October, Octavius, which that's another name for Augustus, man. March, the Roman god of war. Saturday goes back to Saturnalia. All right, Cupid, another Roman god, man. You see, so this man has built this place up that he has built ancient Rome again. He has built. He done gave life to the image of the beast again, and said they shall build, but I will throw down. See, he's in the point of building. But the Most High promised he would throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai have in the nation forever. So people don't understand that the Lord said that he would have indignation against this society, man, against this empire, against this rulership. The Most High is displeased, all right, with the rulership of the earth, man. He's displeased with this modern Roman Empire. And the scriptures say he would be displeased at this man's image, man. And we go to the book of Psalm 73. All right, when you go to Psalm, hold on. All right, so we go to Psalm 73 and 20. It says, as a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. That's why I say they gonna build up, but he gonna throw down. It says when thou awakest, and that's when the Most High gets active. All right, because when you awake, all right, it means you get active. That doesn't mean that the Most High literally sleeping. No, it just shows that when he decides to get active, he's going to despise their image, and that's what we're seeing playing out on the earth. The Most High is despising their image, so he's causing this man to pretty much rush to his own destruction, man. Because everything Esau, Edom doing is leading to his own destruction. The Most High said he gonna throw down. He gonna throw this place down, man. That's a guarantee. You see, so. Let's go back to Revelation 13. because we go into Revelation 13:16 a lot, because it was a build up to that point. You know, it was a build up to the point where he was going to be ready to put something in you, all right, to make you one with this system, you know. And it says, I read through again. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And this is what we seeing now. All right. This current society has wondered after the beast. You know, you look at American influence in the earth. Let me see if I can pull something up, some images. You know, but you look at American influence in the earth, pretty much what you see is the earth wandering after the beast. Now everyone has presidents and some type of republic, you know. Now everyone is pretty much, you know, has taken on Western thought, Western philosophy. You see? Hold on real quick. Come on, man. You know, we're watching the society, all right, is wondering after the beast. Let me see some pictures. Let me see. See if they got anything. I'm going and looking at. All right, let me share this real quick. So, all right, it said the global reach of U.S. popular culture. All right. It says the American cultural identity transpire from the body of cultural outputs this nation has produced and spread all over the globe. The rich output reflects the general characteristics of a country's ongoing reinvention and redefinition, which are part of what makes the American cultural scene a highly representative and dynamic construction. A brief survey of examples shows to what extent American popular culture, anchored in the desire to affirm its cultural identity, has penetrated, you see that, has penetrated the world. It has penetrated what? The minds of the people. But eventually this man is going to want to penetrate you literally, man. You see that? This is an article showing people what? Wondering after the beast. What they call American popular culture is the image of the beast, man. You know? It said, therefore, this essay is going to show that although American popular culture has a rather short history compared with the European one, it nevertheless captures the spirit of the American nation and goes along with the significant evolution that America has known, showing you what, that America was that little horn, all right, that uprooted those other three horns, those EU nations, all right, and has affirmed its dominance in the earth, man. America is the Rome. You know, Rome had a heavy influence in the ancient world. All right. Now, I'm going to keep reading some more in this article. All right. It said the economical prosperity of the U.S. determined powerful culture industries that commercialize America's popular culture. The latter spread depends on three main globalizing forces: trade and international commerce, media and communication technology, and arts and language. They are behind the rise of the consumer economy and the American lifestyle, which in turn are having intense effects on different nations around the world. Large-scale transnational companies and multinational such as Walmart, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or Microsoft spread out their manufacturing industries in many parts of the world in order to mass produce their product or service and transport them all over the globe for mass, all right, consumption. American popular culture is consumerist by nature. Yeah, because you have American companies that send, all right, their factories and plants to other nations and get way cheaper labor and then sell those same products back to Americans, man. All right, what you look at as American product is really a product made in Cambodia, all right, for much cheaper and sold back to you, man. It says American popular culture is consumerist by nature, and especially what you see with Jake, especially this young rap culture, you know, is very consumerist. Like when you see Jake, well, nigga is a part of the image of the beast, man. The nigga woman, that's part of the image of the beast, man. All these things entail the image of the beast, man. This culture, all right? And it says American popular culture is consumers by nature as it lures its target audience to consume its material goods. It says media and communication technology in general, all right, in which media and communication, you have every major, all right, network and media owned by what? 6 different companies, man. You know, I know you have Viacom. You know, brothers can name the 6 companies, put it on the comment board. I know I can't think of all of them right off the bat. You know, you got Viacom, Disney, you know. And it says media and communication technology in general have enabled cultural products to circulate more freely between the different corners of the world. With the rise of the internet and advertisement, both through television channels and social media, American popular culture became diffuse. Singers as well as general public qualify a song not with its artistic essence, but rather through the number of views it makes on social media like YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, because now with these artists, it's not even about talent, it's about how much influence they can have. You see, it's about their influence, you know. But yeah, I go back to the scripture, but it seemed like a pretty good article. I think this is from median.com. You know, the global reach of U.S. popular culture. All right. Let me see if I can. Probably be a good read, you know, for you studious brothers. Let me see if they let me post a link. Yeah, that's the link. You know, you brothers want to check that out. All right. But you see, you know, America, man, that global reach of U.S. popular culture, you know, showing you that what, man, this is the image of the beast. And these people are wondering, you know, after the beast, man. You see? So let's go back to the scripts. And where the blue letter go? Oh man, hold on, so like, what's the blue letter? Yeah, man. When you understand these things, prophecy make perfect sense, man. You know. Yeah, yeah. Bear with me, brothers. You few sisters. You're gonna get some understanding on these things, man. So going back to Revelation chapter 3, verse 13. Verse 3, it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, which we just, went into the article. Well, American, all right, popular culture, let me get this. All right, American popular culture. And it says, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Yeah, hey, because whatever you worship, that's what you give your energy to, man. All right, you see these Moabites walking around with blonde hair. You see, taking on that feminine spirit. Hey, that's them worshiping the beast. The men putting on those suits and ties, and getting these Edomite hairstyles. You see Elam doing it. Moab. You see, they're taking on the image, because whatever you worship, that's what you conform to. And it says, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with the beast? Yeah, all their faith and trust is within this system, man. People always talk about the might of the American military. You got people that know that know nothing about warfare, but they'll make the statement, no one can defeat the U.S. military, man. And it says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. Yeah, so he was given the mouth, pretty much what this beast system is at the forefront of what, making legislations that govern the earth, man. All right, they get to determine what's inhumane. They get to determine what doctrines they want to demonize, because it's heavy blasphemy. Here it is. You have all the Roman Catholic Church, where they pretty much say the Pope, is the mediator. They pretty much saying the Pope is in the office of Yahushua. Talking about heathens can be saved, and the Pope, he just been wilding out. The Pope is pro-abortion, pro-alphabet people. This is nothing but blasphemies, man. All right. It says, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months, which is a period of time. So he was given power to do everything we see that he's doing, man. Everything that he's doing, he was given power, all right, to do. Going back to what? Let's get there in Revelation 6 chapter. Let me go back to it. There's a time period where this man will just be able to do his thing, and nothing can stand in front of him. Nothing on earth can stand in front of them. But see, now their resistance through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, has been lifted. The standard has been lifted against this man. The Most High is despising his image now. Now, when you get Revelation 6, all right. Revelation 6 and 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red. All right, and this is Esau Edom's. This is power structure, man. This red horse, and power was given him that sat thereon. All right, Esau Edom, beginning with their elites, because they're in the power seat, all right, of the empire. These elite bankers, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Going back to that fourth beast that had what? Iron teeth. It goes into that great sword. You see? And then even when you go to where Yahushua told Pilate, which Pilate was a Roman, all right, governor, And what did Yahushua tell him? This St. John 19 and I started at 9. This is Revelation 19 and 9. It says, and went a it says, and went and I started 8. It says, when Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again into the judgment hall and said to Yahushua, whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no answer. Then said Pilate unto him, speakest thou unto me? Knowest not that I have power, you see that, to crucify thee, and power to release thee? And this is what Yahushua said. Verse 11, Yahushua answered, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it was given thee from above. You see that? So Yahushua was telling Pilate, like, look, the power you got was given to you from above, from my Father, man. You know, the power that these devils have had to rule in this time frame, when this was before, all right, Rome suffered that deadly wound, before that head suffered that deadly wound, you know, and they was given power. Now they've been given power again, and that wound has been healed. You see? So Yahushua, I will let them know, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee have the greater sin. Speaking of Jake, man, that delivered Yahushua up, you know. So let's go back to Revelation 13. All right, Revelation 13 and 6. It says, and he opened his mouth and blasphemy, you see, against the Most High, to blaspheme his name. Yeah, they pushed that word Jesus, you know, God, you know, and his tabernacle, which is the people, and them that dwell in heaven. Yeah, he painted everything after his likeness, man. You know, Esau painted the angels as if they was him, the Most High as if it was him, the prophets as if it was him, you know, gave the Messiah a name, you know. This is the only empire to do this, man. When you had Ishmael ruling, you know, different territories as the different caliphates, they didn't do this. That was Islam, you know. They didn't put an Ishmaelite, you know, Messiah. All right, the angels make them Ishmaelites. All right, Moab, when you had those different dynasties of Moab, they didn't do this, man. There's only one nation of people that did this when they came into power, man. And it's these Edomites, man. Verse 7, it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints. And see, this is after that deadly wound was healed. Remember, the scriptures say, you know, he was impoverished, but he will rebuild again. That was when the wound was healed. All right, and he began to build again. This is going to more detail. It said that it was given unto him to make war with the saints, with the Israelites, because when Esau came back into power, all right, because you had the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1453, and then about 39 years later, you had the fall of Granada, which is in Spain, where the Moors, you know, that was the last Moorish stronghold in Spain. And in this same year of 1492, all right, you had the conquistadors coming over here, all right, to the Americas, you know, to South Central, you know, America and the islands. And what was they doing, man? It was wreaking havoc, all right, on the tribes, man. All right, they went to war with the saints. Matter of fact, let me see if I can. All right. All right, let me see. I said because it began with the Northern Kingdom, first. Let me see if I can find any quick info. Akim. All right, let me get this. Let me share this real quick. All right, so let's read this one more time and then let's get some info. All right, it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. Hey, because once he pretty much took down the Northern Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom over here in South Central America and the islands, he went to Africa and pretty conquered the Southern Kingdom. And once he did that, once he got Israel in his possession, all right, he went on to conquer everyone, man, with that sword. All right. So let's get this info real quick. Yeah, the image of the beast goes way farther than the picture of Caesar Borgia, man. Way farther than that, man. It's a culture, it's a way to be. They're just a piece of it. All right. Cardi B and the energy she pushes part of this beast system. Nigga culture, thought culture, the alphabet culture, the narcissistic society, all this part of the image, man. So, yep, just like the brother said. And it says, this is brother, Your True Living Water, 1 Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen, which is talking about the Greeks at that time, those Edomite Greeks, had sought to paint the likeness of their images, man. Only nation of people, all right, known to do that, man. All right. So let's let me share this. All right, because it began with the conquest of the Northern Kingdom over here in the Americas first. All right. Now this is Spanish. This is hold on. This here. There we go. All right. Now this is the Spanish colonization of the Americas. It says the Spanish colonization of the Americas began under the crown of Castile. All right, which the crown of Castile consists of Ferdinand II and Isabella, Queen Isabella. All right. This is the crown of Castile. All right, you see yep. It says, the crown of Castile was a medieval politically in the Iberian Peninsula, which Iberian Peninsula consists of Spain and Portuguese on the same peninsula. They formed in 1230 as a result of the third and definitive union of the crown, and some decades later, the parliaments of the kingdoms of Castile and Leon upon the accession of the Castilian king Ferdinand II. So it says, reading on, it says, and was spearheaded by the Spanish conquistadors. All right, so this is the Spanish colonization of America, which was funded by the Crown of Castile. All right, we funded these Spanish conquistadors. It said the Americas. All right, the Americas. You see that? This Western Hemisphere. They came over here, and made war with the Saints, man. It said were invaded. Yeah, because when you go to war, you invade. They invaded. All right. It said the Americas were invaded and incorporated into the Spanish Empire, with the exception of Brazil, which went to Portugal. That's why they speak Portuguese in Brazil. British America, oh yeah, those British Virgin Islands, and some small regions in South America and the Caribbean. The crown was the French. You know, that's the Caribbean. That's with the French. It says the crown created civil and religious structures to administer this vast territory. The main motivations for colonial expansion were profit through resource extraction. Was profit through resource extraction, just like the Roman Empire. You know, and the spread of Catholicism through indigenous conversions. So Roman Catholicism, that's part of the image of the beast. That's a piece of, but that's not the the MOTB. You know, you're not gonna be able to buy and sell with Catholicism. All right. It says beginning with 1490, with the 1492 arrival of Christopher Columbus. So the same year they took down Grenada, they went on a conquest that same year in the Caribbean. All right, and gaining control over more territory for over 3 centuries. The Spanish Empire would expand across the Caribbean islands, half of South America, most of Central America, and much of North America. It is estimated that during the colonial period from 1492 to 1832, a total of 1.6 million Spaniards settled in the Americas, and a further 3.5 million immigrated during the post-colonial era of 1850 to 1950. The estimate is 250 in the 16th century, and most during the 18th century, as immigrants were encouraged by the Bourbon dynasty. You see, by contrast, the indigenous population plummeted, which is who? The Saints, Northern Kingdom, the tribes, the Saints. Their population plummeted by an estimated 80% in the first century and a half following Columbus' voyages. And it was given him to make war with the Saints and prevail. You see? It said primarily through the spread of disease, all right? Spread of disease, and Jake trusts this nigga today with their health. It says forced labor and slavery for resource extraction and missionization, all right? Which is converting Jake into that BS Catholicism, man. It said this has been argued to be the first large-scale act of genocide in the modern era. He made war with the Saints. Genocide. All right. It says genocide is the intentional action to destroy a people, usually defined as an ethnic, national, racial, or religious group in whole or part, man. And we know it's a nationality that they were trying to destroy, man. All right. But then it also goes into what? How Spanish got plucked up by America, man. You see the Spanish-American Wars of Independence. All right. Which they plucked Spain up. You know, there's another good read probably for brothers too, man. You just go to Wikipedia, Spanish colonization. You know, I go ahead and put this in the description too. You know. Yeah, we in class this morning, man. Wake up to class. All right. Okay, that'll be another good read for brothers. You know, get that history under your belt. All right. So let's go back to the scriptures. All right. Now, it's Revelation 13:7. It says, and it shall be given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, which we just read. All right, and that was the beginning of it was through the Spanish, you know, was you had the Portuguese, and you had France, and you had Britain. All right, those are the main three that had a part in overcoming the saints. It says, and power was given him over all kindred tongues and nation. Yeah, because once he, let's say, conquered the tribes, you know, these other nations, they ain't stand a chance. It says, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, and this is what we're seeing now. All right, we're seeing a mass worship of this man's image in the earth. You know, of this man's society, of this man's philosophy. All right, you hear that word science, believe the science. Science is a major image, part of the image of the beast. This man's pseudoscience. It says whose names, all right, are not written in the book of life. Yeah, so everyone is going to worship this man except the elect. All right, that's why it says that in what? When you go to Romans 11:7, you know, a brother can post it. Romans 11:7. All right, and it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life, and the Lamb of the Lamb, Yahushua, slain from the foundation of the earth. You see, so Yahushua, being that sacrifice, you know, he redeemed us from worshiping this beast, really, man. You know, he redeemed our minds back. You know, then he's going to physically come redeem us. But see, it began with him redeeming our minds back. All right. Let's see, brother, put that. Yep. So this is the brother Kazak Bon Yahawada. All right. This is Revelation 11:7. Said, what then? Israel have not attained which is seeking for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded. See, everyone else is given over to worship the image of this other beast, man. All right. And also, I think that's Romans 11:3 about the not, you know, he reserved 7,000 who have not bowed the knee. That goes into what, man? The elect. You see, but the elect have attained, all right, their light in these times, which is what going to prevent us from, you know, worshiping the beast. Say all those whose names are not written in the book of the Lamb, all right, slain from the foundation of the world. And when you go to, let's get that in Colossians, man. You see? Because if you worship the beast, you're in darkness. All right? If you worship the beast, you're in darkness, man. All right, this is Romans 11:4. It says, but what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, which is a complete number, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. And pretty much you can replace Baal with the beast, man. You know, those who are not written in the Lamb's book of life, man. Everyone is not written what? They have given the knee. They're going to give the knee to Baal. They're going to eventually give in. You see? They're going to eventually give in. But the elect have been separated, man. All right. This is Colossians 1:12. It says, giving thanks unto the Father, which have made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who have delivered us from the power of darkness, which Esau, he's the power of darkness. Remember, the guys of this world. If our people are blinded, it's because the guys of this world. All right, and when you're blinded, if you're actually blind, it means you're constantly in darkness, man. And our people mind is constantly in darkness. You see, but we've been delivered from that darkness, and we can see. We can see what this is that we're in. We're in the beast system, and people don't even understand. The masses don't understand that they're bowing down to the image of the beast, man. They're worshiping the image of the beast because they're in darkness. They can't see it. It says, and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear son. You see, we look past this empire and look for one to come. Why? Because we can see, we have the light now. We can see, all right, a righteous rulership is being prepped to come, because we see the people of that kingdom, all right, being what? Brought together by this word, man. You know? So going back to Revelation 13. All right, Revelation 13 and all right, and 9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity, yep, because Rome was known for mass enslavement, you know, and this new Roman Empire is known for what? Mass enslavement. He went to make war with the saints and overcome them. And when you overcome someone, all right, what do, man? You put them in captivity. All right. So this is going to be his end game. He that leaving to captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. So everything he did in his war with the saints, it's gonna come back to him, man. Everything he did to the tribes, the enslavement, the mass slaughters. It said the population of the northern kingdom went down 80%, man. 80%. That's gonna come back. All right. And reading on verse 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. You know, what this Republic and Democrat system, man. And he spake as a dragon. See, now we're seeing this man begin to speak as a dragon, because the lamb has a very nature as if it's harmless. It would never do wrong. It's not intimidating, you know. And that's how Esau, you know, portrayed, you know, his government. But now we finna see that same government speak as a dragon, man, which is a dragon is a very deadly creature. It says that he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, the ancient, all right, pagan Roman Empire, man, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. Why? How he do that? Through his media, through his technology, through his pseudoscience, you know, saying this is the way. Then we got the best way, you know. Hey, women should be liberated. You should be able to live. It's all about love, you know. You should be able to live these alternative lifestyles, you know. Fast food, that processed food, you know. And he put it in the media like this was the best way to be. This is the best thing going, you know. And it caused a lot of people to worship the beast, man. The masses of the earth to worship the beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great miracles, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And see, he did that, you know, with the NATO. All right, they known for the first airstrike, and then you have, you know, the atomic bombs they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you know. And to this day, man, he's making fire come down from heaven through his military, man. You see, now he has DEW, direct energy weapons, man, where he can shoot fire, you see, from satellites, man. It says, and deceiving them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And see, everyone has been deceived to look at Esau as some type of god, man, because the technology that he's able to mass produce, you know, and they look at how convenient things are, and they're deceived as if this man has the the best intentions for humanity, man. When pretty much he's farther enslaving you, man, because even with this technology, it's nothing but a technological prison. All right, that he's placing in the earth, man. This is a technology prison that he's building around you. It's convenient now, but pretty soon this technology is gonna supervise you, man. Tell you how much to eat, tell you where to spend your money, even going to the CBDC, the central bank digitalized currency. All right, Esau Edom pretty much, is this man is pretty much, all right, going to be able to program money. Let's say you get $1,000, all right, 1,000 credits, you know, a week. Well, you're gonna only be able to spend 200 on grocery, 700 on your rent, and the other 100 on gas, you know, and essential items. So yeah, it seems convenient because the money could just jump on, you know, your CHIP. It's gonna seem convenient, but then he's gonna tell you how to spend it, and he's gonna program it where you can't spend it on nothing else, man. You know? So he's deceiving the people with these miracles, man, with his technology, man. You know? And it says, and deceiving them that dwell on earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. You know, going back into what, man? This NATO and EU, that wound that was healed, all right, was the NATO, EU, and America, man. All right, and people have made are worshiping this image. People that's taking the Vanessa, that's because they want to continue on in the image of the beast, man. They see no problem with this society. All right. And it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, because these elites are the one that finance it, you know. They was able to finance and get this thing back going, man. That the image of the beast should both speak, and it is speaking. You know, this man way of life, this is what's being spoken into the earth. Trust the science, trust this, you know, man can do this, we can do this, I can, you know, human H plus, you know, upgrade humans. All right. You shall not surely die. The image of the beast is speaking, man. This man wants to change your DNA makeup, man. The code given to us by Yahweh Shem Shai, this man wants to reprogram that. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And it's going to get to that point. And they do it now with these leaders of the nations. All right, different leaders that try to buck up against the image. You know, you got Saddam Hussein. All right, no more Gaddafi. You know, even Abraham Lincoln, John F. K. When you're in these leadership positions, all right, you have to conform to the beast. What you had, the Haiti president, you know, I think it was another president in South Africa. What they weren't conforming, and what happened? They would be knocked out. But see, pretty soon it's gonna be like this for the regular citizen, because he's saying you can't go to bars and restaurants now for not complying. But it's gonna get to the point where you ain't gonna be able to go to grocery stores, you know, which pretty much that's starvation. Then he's gonna say, "What? Hey, you're gonna be put to death when that CHIP come out. It's gonna be get down and lay down for real." You know, so, and what do we make it to? Now we walk this beast system down, and what do you get to? You know, the MOTB, the crown of his enterprise, man. All right. Verse Revelation 13:16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive, all right, a Marcus, all right, MARK, in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man may buy or sell. See, buying and selling is just the beginning. That's just a major token of what you know this would do. All right, of what this would do, of what this device would do. But it's greater than that, man. This is high level, all right, idol worship. This is high level Edomite worship. This is high level worshiping the image of the beast, man. It says, save he that had a mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for his number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, let's get that in the in the New Living. Hold on. Yeah. Now you get that in the New Living translation. It says wisdom is needed here. See, you have to have a certain understanding to understand this thing. Wisdom is needed here. You see? So like it said, let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man. His number, all right, is 666. All right. This is the number that's being forwarded in this man's system, man. All right, all over the place, man. This is that beast system that John seen, man. And he seen that device, man. All right. Now you can believe what you want. We just gonna bring it out, man. You see? So you see how Revelation 13 walked all the way down onto that mark. All right. Well, you know. Well, let's get, it's like I ain't mean to close the Bible out. But let's get a few more and get ready to close out. All right. This is because there was a consequence for taking this, man. That's why brother's so adamant about pushing it. You know, I say you can believe what you want. You know, you can skip around, you can try to be prideful and stick to that crazy ass doctrine that Jake is talking about. Well, this is gonna be the end game, man. This is doom for worshipers of the beast. Doom for worshipers of the beast, man. It says, and the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. Yeah, because if you worship the beast, you know, when you have guys in Israel, you know, talking about albums, reality shows, man. There are leaders with fringes, and pretty much they're worshiping the beast right in front of you, man. All right. I don't want no parts of this society that I don't. The only reason I go to work because I have to, you know. But if I could live off the land and just, you know, I wouldn't have no parts of this man's system, you know. If I didn't have to, man, we didn't have to, man, but we have to be here, man, for the purpose of the story, you know. So we have to go to these jobs until we can't no more in particular things, man. But there is no way I would do any type of extra thing that I would have to link myself to this place, man. All right, but you got Jake with reality show, album, you know, and we'll see how it play out, man. Because like I say, it's to the point now. If you need a video, a response video to the behavior of these men, to the doctrines of these men, you know, you might well bear with them, like Apostle Paul said. If anyone come teaching another Yahushua, because they're teaching someone else, man, the energy that they coming in, they might say the name, but they're teaching, all right, in another energy, man. That's not the energy of Yahushua. And Apostle Paul said, if any man teach any other Yahushua, any other Savior, you might as well bear with them. All right? You might as well get ready to take what they finna take, man. The punishment they finna get, you might as well line up with them. It says, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, all right, and in his hand, it didn't say which hand, all right? Forehead, the Neuralink technology, which they've been pushing. It says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture in the cup, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. Yeah. So the CHIP guarantees you, all right, a front row seat, you know, a VIP section within the lake of fire, man. And the angels gonna be above the atmosphere. Yahushua, the elect, gonna be above the atmosphere. All right, looking at your dumb ass burn, man. You know, because you Israelites been warned, man. And you can be foolish because your favorite teacher is teaching one thing. You know, you're the teacher that you emotionally drawn to. he's teaching a certain thing and you loyal, all right, to men, your dumb ass gonna be in the lake of fire, man. There's a lot of Jake with fringes gonna be in the lake of fire, man. You know, sisters with head wraps gonna be in the lake of fire, man. You know? Um, so let's get in the same chapter, you know, which Revelations are very, you know, it's a heavy chapter, you know, dealing with these things, man. You know, dealing with this beast. Now, this is Revelation 15:1. It says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled of the wrath for the Most High. You know, the 7th plague is nuclear destruction, the return of Yahushua. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. Yeah, because it said how those that take the mark of the beast gonna burn in fire and brimstone in the presence of the Lamb. Well, this is going into that scene. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. Yeah, the view from the chariots, you know, looking at America on fire, all right, through the atmosphere is going to be like a sea of glass mingled with fire. And it says, and then it says, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, standing on a sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. Yeah, so we're here to speak the victory. All right, we're here to speak about the victory over this man's beast and over his image, and we identify what it is, because how can you have the victory over something when you don't know what it is, man? When you're not teaching what it is. No, we're speaking the victory of, and we know what it is, man. All right. So you're gonna have you're gonna have masses of our people burning in that lake of fire. All right, caught up in that nuclear destruction. All right, they're gonna be right. You're gonna be in there with your favorite. All right, your favorite prophet. You know, your favorite teacher. You're gonna be right there in there with them. In that in that nuclear destruction, then you're gonna have those that overcame that's gonna be in those chairs looking at it. All right. So pretty much that's the point. It's always a lot you can go into it, but we probably bring it out on another day, you know. So Lord will, you brothers and you few sisters edified. What I want to do, as brothers been having I know the brothers in Dallas, they started uploading to BitChute, which I started a page, for the Mississippi camp, dealing with BitChute. Let me see if I can send y'all the link real quick. Hold on, because you got pretty much more of a more free range to speak. you know. Um, see real quick. Goddamn, now one let me pull it up. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, what I'm gonna do? Let me see. All right, so this is the link, to the big shoot. Like I say, we learning how to work it. Pretty much this is what we'll be posting different videos going deeper, into these different topics of what's really going on, because pretty much YouTube has got so watered down and so sensitive, with the algorithm. There's a lot of things, that we can't even go into, so hey, we gotta go underground with this thing. So, big shoot, y'all brothers, y'all sisters, get on that link, subscribe to the GMS Mississippi, subscribe to GMS Dallas, and whatever other brothers that you see on there, and get, the real nitty gritty. Lord will, when I learn how to work it, I plan on just really going into what this man is doing. That's why, it's a benefit of being within the loop, of being within the circle of what's going on, man. You serious-minded brothers, make sure, you follow, important information go out, containing what's going on. All right, because we're in the time now to be, like the scripture say, not to be ignorant of a matter small or great. So we're watching this, man. We're watching this thing unfold, and we're constantly going to report, man, until he shut the whole internet down. You see? So, that's the link, I say you click the link, subscribe. I just put a few videos up there just to have something up there, just kind of playing with it. But, Lord willing, some edifying me, some some heavy info can be posted, on that channel, on BitChute, So you brothers and sisters, just be prepared, to use that as an alternate, platform to see, heavy information, that brothers want to bring out. All right. So Lord will, you brothers and you few sisters edified to the next time I say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba, a DTA soon.